And they'll go for the Lifestealer. Okay. Lifestealer did receive a couple of indirect nerfs. Of course, the Maelstrom build is no longer the build to go now. You can still go down that route, Maelstrom into Halberd. It's not anywhere near as effective.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll have to keep a close eye on Khan and see how they plan to run this
5
LS.
seconds remaining.
As you saw in pubs specifically, that Lifestealer win rate went down a hell of a lot.
Dire team ban.
Beastmaster.
Winstrike, they do pick up the Beastmaster now. A great counter towards that Lifestealer. You don't care for the rage when you have a Beastmaster with Raw. Of course, the Nyx Assassin Beastmaster combination is also quite a potent one. You have two heroes now that can scout so well for your team.
10
This
seconds
Beastmaster
remaining.
finds someone with a Hawk, Nyx Assassin gets in there with Vendetta, and if
5
it's someone as
seconds
squishy as like a
remaining.
Snapfire, it's going to be a very, very easy pick-off for Winstrike.
Radiant team ban.
Do you see the Storm now being banned out? Khan, they don't have any counters towards the Storm, so got to get rid of it.
Ten seconds remaining.
Winstrike, that
5
final
seconds
ban.
remaining.
They'll have 30 seconds reserve time to make this ban.
Radiant team. Dire
We'll
team.
get rid of the Brute, and we go into the Medusa. Now, this is a really hard lineup to go into for Khan. That Medusa loves going up against Lifestealers. They do not deal well with the Stone Gaze. Of course, you have False Promise into Medusa. So if that Medusa wasn't hard enough to kill already, now you've already got the Oracle to back her up.
10
So
seconds.
Khan are going to have to be super aggressive to try and finish this game earlier than what Winstrike can
5
get online with.
seconds remaining.
The thing about Winstrike's draft is the Void and Medusa do take a little bit longer than other cores to be up and online. They're not the best flash farmers in the world. You could make the argument that Medusa does flash farm quite fast, but she requires so much farm and XP before she's really ready to go. Can't. They're going to the Kunkka, so they've got some great early team fights. It can be quite devastating. That boat, of course, going to make all the heroes so much tankier throughout the team fight, just reducing 40% of the incoming damage. I've got to say, I like both drafts. I can't actually decide which one's scarier. It's just going to be a matter of who can play what better. If they can lock down this Medusa and this Void and don't give them the farm they require, you could see Khan running away with this game. However, if it goes past the 40-minute mark, it's like good luck. Like, how do you even win against Medusa Void in that late into the game? Especially with that Oracle.
10 seconds remaining.
It just feels impossible. So Khan are going to have to apply that
5
pressure
seconds
early.
remaining.
They're going to have to apply it hard. Like I said though, Khan, as far as I saw in the closed qualifiers, they were performing very, very well. Seemingly uncontested throughout the whole qualifier. We'll see if Winstrike will be the first challenge for them. It should be, but only time will tell. Get into the game now. we have an immediate pause come out. Mitch already giving a tip over to the Void. And they'll return the favor.
Space and life.
Of course, we'll go straight into the frontal view. I wonder what we're pausing for in the first place. No one really said anything. We just kind of paused. Thank you, Mr. Cameraman. A beautiful Roshan courier. Looks very nice indeed. Thank you for that. Young G, gonna be on the Medusa. He's gonna go mid. Pretty standard stuff. He'll be up against the Kunkka. Not the easiest lane for the Medusa, but also not the hardest. As long as you have a bit in Mana Shield, the Tidebringer really doesn't deal too much damage to you. Of course, the Mystic Snake from the Medusa can be very, very frustrating for the Kunkka to deal with. Does do a lot of damage later on in the laning stage, and as well as that, of course, the mana that it takes away from you isn't very nice. Not very fun to play against.
We're just not meant to be.
Thirty seconds to battle.
We'll spot out the Void. Both teams just gonna set up for their bounties. It's not gonna be it's like it should be a 2-for-2 trade. Can't have secured both bot bounties. So it looks like they want to try and apply some pressure down to this bot lane, perhaps even block the creep wave. Yeah, that's exactly what this Mars is gonna do. He's gonna run in, try to block the creep wave up, and of course force that creep wave to go towards their own tier 1 tower. It will be a Fortune's End to slow this down, but Puba will be there to help out. And just a little block like this can be just enough to give you that advantage, and that'll be more than enough now as Puba has set up. They have tried to do the same thing with the Void, but Yamich was there to ensure that it couldn't happen. So it's going to be, a pretty nice start for the Mars. It basically guarantees you level 2 and a bit of XP. A bit of gold, I should say. Because we're going to keep an eye out to see how well Arrow can do in this mid lane up against this Dusa. It should just be an even trading kind of lane. It shouldn't really be any cool potential unless you see some rotations come in. You never really know. Once you hit that level 6 mark, the Kunkka with the boat has such a massive power spike. Could just find the kill by himself if he hits a nice torrent. Of course, we are seeing this lifestealer having a little bit of a rough time. A lot of harassment comes out here from the Beastmaster and the Nyx Assassin. Anytime you have to lane up against a Beastmaster, it's not really that much fun because you're going to always have to fight into double balls. And they do tend to start dealing a lot of damage as time goes on. He's going to be able to farm just fine on that tier 1 tower. See Mitch, still level 1 on the clock. But looks like he wants to try and make a roam to the mid lane. Gonna find a haste rune for himself if he does go towards that mid, but no, he'll just decide to go towards his bounty rune spot. And actually, they left the bounty for such a long time. I was expecting that it wouldn't even be there any longer. But it was. They'll give the haste over to Arrow on the Kunkka instead. Mitch really wants to hit level 2 so he can do something with this clock. I'm sure he'll hit it in just a second. Kind of intrigued to see what kind of build Arrow goes for in this Conqueror as well. Like, do you just rush like a Heaven's Halberd against this Deuce of Void? Seems like one of those games where there's going to be a lot of Halberds popping out for Khan. There's just so much value in this game for that item. Mitch gonna chase down the courier now. We'll find the courier of the Oracle. No, top lane, DK Focus getting caught out. Looks like he will go down.
First blood. I think I'll go back for more.
TSA, I mean, he was there, but there wasn't much he could do to really help out. So the first blood will go to the way of Khan. Nice easy pick off for them. Gives the lifestealer a little bit of a boost in gold, but most of that gold did go over to the Snapfire, who did claim the first blood.
Your fate cleaves to me.
Like the Mars is having a pretty decent time down a bot. Like the Void is also farming very well. But due to that early creep block that we saw, he's just had the equilibrium his way the whole time. He's finding farm he really shouldn't be able to find like this. All by himself as well. They've just left him down at that bot lane. Puba, he comes up top. In fact, he was already top. I meant the Clockwork had rotated. Speaking of you, Mitch, he has made his way back down bot again. Because they do have a level 2 spear, so they can set up as long as he gets the cogs off. And Mitch, it looks like something is happening down a bot lane right now. Taking a chase onto Kick. Does find the cogs. There's still no spear coming out. He's just far away. The Mars does eventually get it onto a tree. And Mitch will be able to clean up that Oracle. Kiki couldn't really do much once the battery assault cogs was there. And that's just the beauty of this offlane combination. You could just do this every single time that the spear is available, and there's just excuse me, there's not much the Oracle could do about it. As DK gonna get caught out again by Puba, though Cookie will not land this time, but they do have the open wounds. Still, DK is fairly tanky. In fact, he may just turn here onto Puba instead, as TSA is coming in, but he jukes out the Impale. Puba still just juking around the tree line now. DK trying to taste him down. Puba, do you have Cookie? Not quite yet. He needs another 8 seconds. He won't get that time, as this Lifestealer is going to continue chasing DK, but he doesn't have the damage output to actually find the kill. And had that initial Cookie landed, they may have had enough, but it didn't. So nice pick up there for Winstrike. Well, Arrow, looking back at this Conker, he is really farming well. 40 last hits, 11 denies. Gonna find a haste rune again. DK getting chased down. Looks like he will die. TSA, he tried to block, and now Arrow's going to come in. He gets the X off into the boat. And TSA understands he's dead. There's nothing he can do while the Spike Carapace is on cooldown. Another 2 easy kills going to Khan, as now they go after the Void. Spear comes out. Mitch has the cogs, pushes him back. There will be a time walk. But they just keep that Void on low HP the whole time, so he never feels comfortable to move out and take riskier plays to get these CS. It looks like Mitch has actually rotated towards that Medusa now. Cuba. Just annoying TSA. Scatterblast straight to the face. And now Cookie, though Spy Carapace was there anyway, they missed. It's just one of the real potent parts about the Snapfire early on. Just deals so much damage with Scatterblast and Cookie. Especially if you get that Scatterblast point blank. Really, really does hurt. I mean, 100% slow does seem a little ridiculous. Arena, bot lane, they found the Oracle, and straight away he just rushes forward. God's Rebuke, he does find the kill though. Now the Void wants to try and trade. Not getting lucky with those bashes, still doesn't find one. Now he does, and that'll be enough. He had level 6 anyway, so he could have screwed up the Chrono if necessary. It was basically a guaranteed kill, but just get a nice pick off onto the Mars. The Oracle won't mind dying for that. Kiki, he's used to it as a support. Meanwhile, top lane, Young G is going to rotate up on the Medusa, and he wants to try and take all these stacks before the side of Khan do. And they're really going to ensure that he can secure this as top lane. They get a Chrono off straight onto that lifestealer, and they're already 5-manning with a draft like this, but now double torrent into the 3-man boat coming out from Arrow. Do they have enough damage though? Cookie comes out, X is there onto the Void, but there's not enough follow-up. And at 9 minutes into this game, there are 5 heroes from Winstrike at the top lane. That is insanity with a draft like this. They find an amazing pick though on the lifestealer. That's fantastic.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And TSA does eventually leave, and so does the Deucer. She goes mid. The Khans certainly weren't expecting that. Couldn't have been an amazing turn though, had there been 5 heroes from Khan, as that boat was huge.
Dire's middle
Not to be.
tower is
Not
under
this time.
attack.
Bot. They look to set up on TSA. Or maybe not. I thought that Yamich would make the play, but he's going to go for those bounties instead.
Bottom tower is
Heck,
under
never mind. He is going towards the Nyx Assassin again. Of course, you see Young G just farming up like a madman on that Deucer. Still pretty far behind the Kunkka, but it won't matter. As time goes on, the Deucer is just going to farm substantially faster.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We still haven't really seen that pressure we talked about in the draft phase.
Radiant's bottom
But to be
tower
fair, they
is
haven't
under
hit
attack.
level 6s on all their supports. As you can see, Yamich is still at level 4, just about to hit the 5 mark. Whereas TSA on the Nyx Assassin is already at that 6. Surprisingly enough, this Mars just takes a free tier 1. He was just down there whacking away at it for such a long time, and nobody bothered coming in to try and defend. It was really only TSA that showed up, but even he left. He just gave up on it. Because now Arrow's going to start pressuring the mid-tier 1. Torrent going to fly in onto the Nyx.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Does get the Spy Carapace on cooldown. Arrow just continuing to force in the tier 1, but now there will be a lot more heroes from Winstrike. Still can't. Setting up. Looking to try and make some sort of play. Yeah, Mitch will find TSA now. Spy Carapace again coming out, but they do have a lifestealer with them. TSA really has no way to survive this as the Arena of Blood into the boat comes out, and Kikid, he goes down. Young G trying to run away. The Chrono is huge. It catches 2, but there's no damage output. They need to get out now, or maybe not. Khan, they're still trying to get out themselves, and they do lose the Mars. Hookshot away from the clock to ensure he gets out. TSA does buy back on the Nyx Assassin. And Khan, it looked like a great start. They get a kill, they just back out. They do lose their Mars in the process though, which is definitely not the most effective way of trying to win out these team fights, but it happens. Winstrike may not really mind that much about that. I mean, they still got a nice kill. And they're still fighting all these core items. I mean, you see DK Phogos, he's got the Necro 1 book up and ready to go. Doesn't take too long to get it up to 3. Of course, the Deucer had the Yasha up. And that really helps her escalate her farm up pretty quick. As you look at that Lifestealer, it's just so much more of a slow process. Still sitting at 4.9k net worth. Speaking of, I wonder what build he's going for. He is going into the Maelstrom build. Now, I did mention briefly in the draft screen that the Maelstrom, it got nerfed and it's not really so much the build you tend to go for anymore in the Lifestealer, but then again, what else do you go for? I've seen people go for armlet builds once again on the Lifestealer these days. I don't know if that's the play. Because you still farm so slow without the Maelstrom.
Are fortified.
Definitely won't be the play this game, as we've already seen, as mid lane, hookshot is there from your Mitch. They do push Young G back, but they miss the cookie. Torrent connects, but there'll be no follow-up to it.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That time does allow Arrow, though, to get that tier 1 mid. And it looks like that's really what they wanted. They just wanted to open up the map a bit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
TSA now scouting out the side of Khan, but there is a sentry ward down. TSA, he doesn't want to run up the hill like this. Khan acting as if nothing's wrong. Your Mitch gonna juke out this Nyx Assassin Impale. He does get it eventually. Now Young G comes in. They do have the Chrono available on the Void, but they do not pursue.
Double damage.
So a 3k net worth lead remains for Khan, surprisingly enough. Winstrike, although they're doing a pretty decent job so far, I'm shocked that they're not leading net worth with the Deuce of Void. A lot of that net worth, though, for Khan is on Arrow. He has got his Heaven's Halberd up very quickly as well.
Bounty killing. Bounty.
Top lane. They'd love the Void if they could. The Mars won't try for it. Still too hard of a kill even with the arena up. Though now you have the Blink Dagger there on the Mars, so you have some great initiation. Of course, they are aware that the Chrono is available to be used, so they've got to be very wary about what teamfight they take. The longer the Chrono's off cooldown, the better for Khan. The worse for Winstrike. Puba, gonna get caught out. TSA does get the Vendetta Strike, although doesn't throw the Impale in time. Still, the Void's gonna make the chase, but the Mars is TPing now, and they can't actually claim the kill. TSA just hesitating for half a second, and that was enough time for the Snapfighters to just start juking him around.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they go to bot, smoke up from Arrow. What they found there, they got a hook shot off. It is going to be the Beastmaster. DK gets caught out. He does have Raw and does commit immediately, but now the arena drops with the Torrent and the boat. TSA, he cops that boat. The Stonegaze is doing nothing to Khan as they'll just wait it out. They'll disarm the Medusa and just chase her down. Look at those Mortimer's Kisses just flying in, burning through all that mana pool, and now she may be a sitting duck. She has Manta, but what good is it when you've been X'd up? Young G at least avoids the spears. Kick E does get the false promise off, but now Kick E's life may be in danger as they will just chase with the Lifestealer. I think Young G is still going to go down through the false promise. The Void does TP in now. He gets Puba. He still has Chrono, but do you really want to commit this? I don't think he'd have the follow-up damage. Khan will take another successful team fight, and it only cost them a Snapfire.
Is under attack.
But they found a 3-for-1 trade in the end.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
If they can keep this up, the game is definitely theirs. As you saw Winstrike, they just don't have the farm yet to really be capable of taking these team fights. So they have to just try and back if they can. At least until this Deucer has the farm. Of course, one good Chrono could have changed that whole team fight, but we just didn't see the Void around. Wasn't really in position, wasn't expecting the gank to happen. They'll smoke up. Again, you want to get this Chrono on cooldown and find some sort of kill. The easiest one they're going to find is Puber in the mid lane, who, well, they won't even need the Chrono for this. Cookie's going to be there, but it won't matter.
Dire's middle tower.
They'll try to claim the tier 1 mid.
Dire's structure.
And Khan probably won't try to contest because they understand that it's hard to fight into Chrono. Or maybe they will. The Mars is setting up, but now they catch him out with the Impel of TSA. Hookshot is there from the clock, but he doesn't actually land on DK. Still, the boat flies in now, so you have that boat run buff. Snapfire Kiss is flying in. They've lost DK Phogos. TSA falling low. He gets speared back. Spy Carapace in there in the nick of time. He gets an Impale off onto Arrow. Meanwhile, the Void is being chased, but now the Chrono comes out. Looks like they will catch out Yamich on the clockwork. They'll catch out the Lifestealer potentially, though no. He gets the Infest off. Now another X into a boat onto that Void. Can they find him? No. False Promise is going to be there from Kikid. They'll even salve through the False Promise to try and get his health up as much as possible. Now the Lifestealer, he went back in, but it's too much damage coming out of that Void. Spear comes out, but it's not going to do anything. Because Arrow wants to back out. Can he get out? Gets another X off. The Void is very, very low on mana. That'll be the end of that. We do have an immediate pause come out from Huber now. I feel you, dude. I know it's hard. What is? Thank you. Somebody finally asked what's going on. Like, we're kind of just sitting here paused for like no apparent reason. Now we're ready to go. Apparently, all right. Uber gonna find TSA, does get the cookie, but Spy Carapace will be there in time. Still, Yamich should get a hook shot here and does connect perfectly. There is a Void around to help, but TSA should just die. Yeah, the Void has left him behind. TSA, you understand what's about to happen, right? Cookie to the face. A shotty, not gonna come out. Yamich does pick up the kill. 8-13. As that kill happens, the Heaven's Halberd comes out now on the Lifestealer, so farm is really starting to escalate for Khan. That's 2 Heaven's Halberds now available. One for the Void, one for the Deucer. And I believe they could probably just smoke up and go for a team fight now if they wish.
Scanning.
They've got pretty much every ultimate up apart from the Mortimer's Kisses, but now it is available. So all tools are ready. Or perhaps they go for a Roshan instead, as the minimap implies, and yeah, there they are.
Are scanning.
Pretty easy Roshan when there's nobody there contesting you. Winstrike are slowly making their way there as they do scout it out with the Hawk now. Roshan still relatively okay in terms of health. They have time to make their way in. Chrono is not available, but they'll drop the arena now. They're going to take this fight. Torrent into the boat on the Deucer, and now the Kisses start flying in. It's a lot of damage, but they threw the False Promise out straight on the Medusa to ensure she stays alive, and now the Roshan is still alive somehow. But it does go down. Who's got the Aegis? The Lifestealer does manage to take it, and this looks really bad now for Winstrike as they are starting to drop lives. Beastmaster trying to run away. DK, you are probably going down, and it looks like the Torrent will connect anyway. They find the kill. They find a 4th. An absolute mess in the Roshan pit. Khan, they get the Aegis anyway, but they got even more. A full team wipe almost. Just the Oracle surviving out of everyone.
Radiant's
That's going to allow them to just take this tier 2 tower for free. Increases their net worth lead by quite a margin. 9k now to the way of Khan. They of course won't pressure the tier 3s yet, but they're well on track to pressure them in a few minutes. While the Aegis is still up, they'll probably get another chance. Winstrike, I mean, they just need more farm.
Radiant's top tower is
You've got this greedy lineup, it just wants to farm. Can't understand this, they are not allowing it. They've got to somehow buy more time on Winstrike. That's really the only objective here. Just buy time.
Invisibility.
They're just kind of forced to hang around at their the west side jungle of Winstrike. Huddled up as a team as well. They can't really be caught out alone. As I say that, the Void may get caught out. So if the Mars has eyes on him, the pings do come out as well. They have the Blink Arena of Blood initiation. But the Void has departed. Or has he? No, he has. Soul Crest now also going to be up on the Mars to make matters worse. His lifesteal is just going to be hitting so darn quick with that Soul Crest placed on him.
Dire are scanning.
Spear will not land, but they know the Void's somewhere around there. He'll time walk to the right. He tries to TP. Cookie not going to be there. Boat will not land either. Though they got the X off. I didn't even realize they got the X. The Void being brought back. Torrent's going to be there. And I didn't quite see the X, I believe, because the kisses were blocking it. But there you go. The Mortimer's Kiss is just giving enough vision for the Kunkka to find that X just in time.
Jackpot.
25 minutes, 8 to 18. Still really can't slow down. The top tier 1 and tier 2 are still there, so they'll start making their way to the top lane and start taking those towers up. TSA, very, very close to this lifestealer right now. They could try to go for an attempt at his life, and they will throw the Impel as well as the Mystic Snake, but won't be anywhere near enough. His pings are coming towards that tier 3 now, and Spear almost finds the Deucer. Young G will barely dodge it out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They'll go for the tier 2 instead. You still have the Aegis though, so I don't think Khan really want to back here.
Radiant's top tower
You don't have the kisses available, but it's not the biggest deal. As long as you have the Aegis, you can feel comfortable going up that high ground. And, oh, hello, Young G.
Dire's bottom
Going for a
tower
Divine
is
Rapier.
under attack.
Alright. Seems like it's become a pretty standard build after Nico Baby built it. But I can't blame them for this. I think the Divine is going to offer that DPS output they need during the Chrono. It's going to make it a lot harder for Khan to move in on this Deucer and not feel very uncomfortable about their own HP going down too fast. Khan have just smoked up though. They've got a double damage on Arrow now and they'd love to find a target. That target may be the Beastmasters. Yeah, DK, he gets caught out. Arena gonna be there, but Speed doesn't actually land. Hookshot, though, gonna be on the Nyx Assassin into the double torrent, and Arrow, again, has the double damage. That's a hell of a lot of damage. DK will also go down. And with that, straight through the mid. Tier 3 melting very, very quick. Young G, he still doesn't... Well, he does have the both components for the Divine, but he hasn't made it yet. He gets speared back. Boat will fly in. He's lost all his mana. Chrono will be there, but it only lands on one. They're trying to go on the backlines on that snap by Puba. He doesn't even have kisses, though. It doesn't matter if he dies. They do get your Mitch on the clockwork. But now the fight continues. TSA moving forward, but he's going to go down the Nyx. In fact, never mind. He gets 4-staffed out. DK moving forward, trying to go after the Mars now. In fact, they wanted to just try and swarm the Lifestealer, but he's just healing up throughout all this. A huge impel, though, from TSA will stun them all in place. Now they want to back out. Bash is coming out onto Arrow. The Lifestealer will turn around once again on that Void. Puba, do you have kisses yet? Not quite. They have another arena, though. They'll throw it out. It's going to be huge, as this Lifestealer can just pick them off one by one. Cookie is there. False Promise does land on the Void just in time, but I don't think he has enough heals to survive throughout all this. Scatter Blast connects. They'll get the Oracle, and this Void should just die, and does. It'll be an Ultra Kill coming out for the Lifestealer. And just such a prolonged team fight.
Under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are
Are they actually going to try and...
Radiant's middle
I thought I saw them pinging those tier 4s for a second. I think it's a little bit early for that. They will go for a secondary tier 3 tower. And Young G, has he made the Divine yet? Yeah, he has. So now you've got a crazy surge of damage for the Medusa. But the problem is you don't have Chrono. And you don't have Raw because the Beastmaster's dead. They'll throw a dust out. TSA did get caught and now gets speed back as well. The Mars will drop fairly quickly to this Divine, but Mitch, he breaks up the team fight with that Cogs. TSA, do you survive? He barely does, though. No rocket from Mitch. It does find the kill.
Radiant's bottom.
That's going to be 2 Raxes going down. As Khan, do you want to go for the third? With TSA down for another 20 seconds, they feel confident.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Torrent, not going to land. Disarm on the Medusa. X, Boat, Raw has been thrown up, but the Mars ultimate coming in again with the kisses. Young G losing a lot of mana. They'll go after the Void instead. He does have the Fate's Edict put on himself, though. In fact, it was DK Frogos that was getting attacked. This Dusa falling quite low, actually, in HP. Still wants to go for a fight, but she just keeps getting disarmed. As Arrow now wants to get out of this team fight. They may turn. Cookie gonna be there from Puba. Now X spear back onto who have they even caught? It is the Oracle. So you won't have False Promise now. And Khan, they just keep moving forward. They've caught the Void now in the Cogs. Chrono is huge though, but Young G, he's going to get some right clicks off. He can't get any. He's just being controlled up by Puba on the Snapfire. And X again into a torrent. And Khan, it looks like they've won this out. They'll get the Divine on the deck.
Top barracks are under attack.
And that's it. GG's been called. Medusa just quits the game immediately. And Winstrike do not seem very happy at all. Still, that was game 1 of the best of 3. It's not the end of the world. But man, Khan looks so darn dominant. In this draft, we did say if it went maybe past the 40-minute mark, it would have worked out for Winstrike. Khan obviously understood they couldn't drag it out too late. They won't allow it. And, well, they just performed perfectly. I think we'll see a pretty big redraft here for Winstrike. I don't think they'll go into such a greedy draft this time around up against a team like Khan. I think perhaps they'll go with something that can fight a little bit early on. Still, it is MLP Dota. We'll be back for the second game very, very soon. And hopefully you're all enjoying. Should be a bit of fun.
EGB, your